We are. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Blacksburg Planning Commission, which are held here at the Roger E. Headspath Chambers in Blacksburg on the first Tuesday of each month at 6:30 p.m. Citizens may address the Planning Commission during specified times on the agenda and are requested to adhere to the following. Please speak at the podium, state your name and address, direct comments only to the Commission. Please limit speaking time to a maximum of 3 minutes and speak only once during a specific hearing or comment period. Please silence cell phones, show respect for all speakers, and allow all opinions to be expressed in a tolerant atmosphere. With that, we'll call the meeting to order. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Ehrman? Present. Mr. Ford? Present. Ms. Jones? Here. Mr. Kassoff?
Present.
Mr. Kazee? Here. Ms. Reinhardt? Here. Ms. Walker?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Wonderful. First item is our consent agenda. The first item on the consent agenda is approval of the Blacksburg Planning Commission minutes of April 1st, 2025, and the proposed action is to approve. The second item on the consent agenda is rezoning 25-2, Clyde's View planned residential rezoning request from R5 transitional residential to PR planned residential at 103 Jefferson Street. And the proposed action is to schedule a public hearing for June 3rd. And the last item on our consent agenda is rezoning 25-3, a rezoning amendment request from RZN 24 to ORD 2062, approved March 25th, 2025, for the property around 801 North Main Street, Cambridge Street, Winston Avenue, and Progress Street. And the proposed action is to schedule a public hearing for June 3rd, 2025. Do we have a motion?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to public hearings, we have none. We'll open the floor for citizen comment. Would any citizen like to address the Planning Commission on any issue?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. My name is John Neal, 1260 Radford Street, Christopher, Virginia. Just want to let you know that I'm here to answer any questions you might have when you get into your unfinished business. And I did have one handout that I thought there were some questions at the work session, if I may.
Sure.
Just to provide you kind of an illustration of some of the grade challenges on one of your questions. The variances that were asked for the trail.
Thank you.
This just illustrates the up and down nature of the existing trail corridor that make it extremely challenging to construct a trail within that corridor. So, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any other citizen like to address the commission on any issue? Yes, would you like to? Please come forward. Please state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Annette Bach, Professor Emerita. My tax parcel is 209 Farmingdale Lane, Blacksburg, which is completely surrounded by the total proposed plans. Just last evening, fire trucks were summoned to the end of Farmingdale Lane, reconfirming the need for maintenance and direct access to the 460 bypass. Recent survey verifies my property line rods and current fencing. Please address the issues of both road and fencing. Secondly, the issue of erosion, especially in the initial grading of this project, the need to have required protective sheeting to prevent downhill erosion to my property. Lastly, the present proposal cites the HOA is responsible for stormwater pond maintenance and sharing of cost. Looking to the future total plan, larger plan for this, rezoning could quietly transfer that maintenance to the buyer of the adjacent larger tract, making it responsible to one owner for the entire stormwater management pond. Please establish a forever clause for HOA maintenance. As I look beyond my pasture at the frolicking lambs today, I was reminding of the caveat, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. Thank you, Commissioner, for your continued deliberation and oversight of this beautiful Farmingdale proposal.
Thank you. Could you state your name one more time? Your name, please?
My name,
Yeah.
Annette Bach,
Annette Bach.
B-A-C-H.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to unfinished business. First item of unfinished business is Plat 2416, Farmingdale Major Subdivision Preliminary Plat at 210 Farmingdale Lane. Additional review of variance requests 5303, and 500. Do you have a presentation?
Yes, I have some slides that I'll run through. So as this is the subject area highlighted in blue, as a reminder, it is for 20 new lots in an approximately 108 acres that are involved. The development area is approximately 6 acres. And these are all items that we touched on in the work session, that there are 3 new lots, remainder lots that would be carved out with this subdivision, it would be new lot A with no single-family dwelling, new lot B with no single-family dwelling, and then new lot C does have 1 single-family dwelling, which would mean that there would be no more units permitted on this parcel without a further subdivision. This would create a new street and provide for an improvement of Farmingdale Lane from the bypass, and it would include a trail and sidewalk. This is the subdivision for the 20 lots, as you have seen before. The variances there are 2 that were not voted on at the last April 1st Planning Commission public hearing. And that is Section 5, 303, to not dedicate Farmingdale Lane through to the Shaver property or subdivision street to an adjacent property. And then also 500, which is to not construct a multi-use trail in the existing and proposed easements beyond the 20-lot subdivision. And I'll go into that a little bit further. So with Section 5, 303, this is the variance, the section that is in question, as we discussed at the work session. Previously, as you'll recall, this portion in red of Farmingdale Lane, which is now privately owned, was proposed to be dedicated. These were 3 potential connections that were considered. With conversations with staff and the applicant of potential either building the road or easement dedication to adjacent properties. After reviewing this further, staff is recommending not to dedicate right-of-way beyond the edge of pavement, as shown with the yellow line on the aerial to the right here. There are a number of reasons with considering the variance request. Right now, there is street infrastructure proposed to serve the subdivision. There really isn't street infrastructure in this area. The closest public street is approximately a mile distance. So connectivity opportunities are very difficult to achieve in this area. There are opportunities for future development that are limited off of Farmingdale Lane with the maximum street length of 900 feet. Does limit how many lots could be subdivided off a property in the future and off of a street. There is an open space configuration right now. There's 73 acres that are in open space. That as a result from this, would be a result from this subdivision as well as previous subdivisions. So 73 out of the 108 acres. So that's space that could not be developed on. And then probably The biggest concern is the traffic concerns at VDOT, at the VDOT maintained intersection with the 460 bypass, which is very limited. It's an at-grade crossing right now, and it is I think that there is a concern about having more subdivisions down this down Farmingdale Lane if it were to be improved further beyond the proposed subdivision. Also, there's a question of is it warranted with what is being asked, and if the road were or right of way would be dedicated away from the subdivision. There's a general question of is it proportional to what is being proposed? Currently, they're proposing to dedicate 1.2 acres to the town for right of way, and for example, if the right of way to the Shaver property were to be dedicated, that would be approximately about half an acre of additional land. Looking at the comprehensive plan, it does show the Toms Creek Road Farmingdale Lane connector as a low priority. It is in the comprehensive plan, though, to connect. It's about 1.5 miles from Farmingdale Lane to Toms Creek Road. And then also it's important to note that currently, if right-of-way were to be dedicated over the private gravel drive, that would provide quite a bit of a maintenance burden for the town to maintain over time. Looking at the second variance, section 500, and examining whether a trail should be built in the existing easement along US 460 bypass. Currently, there's a trail proposed for approximately 800 linear feet, and this variance would be to not build the additional land, so the additional trail in the area that is in yellow. So you have the area that is in red, which is approximately 800 linear feet, and then you have probably 4,000 to 4,500 linear feet. That is an existing easement that was dedicated previously, but the applicant is requesting not to build the trail in the area that is in yellow. So the actions before Planning Commission this evening are on the two variances that I just covered, as well as voting on the major subdivision as a whole. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for staff?
Yes.
I wonder if you might just, per Ms. Bach's concerns, discuss how or what regulates the upkeep and maintenance of stormwater facilities into the future, and also who in the town manages and regulates construction requirements for runoff and so on.
Correct. So the town staff does, our engineering department would review any plans for stormwater, and then we would have a maintenance agreement for the stormwater pond. So it would be a matter of working with town staff, and I believe Ms. Bach has been in contact with our engineering department, and so we would ensure that all the state code requirements were met with any development of a stormwater management pond.
Further questions for staff? So we need to, since it's been continued, we still need to have a motion, right? Or has the motion been made and we just act on the initial?
The initial one didn't include two of the variances, so I think we have.
Correct.
Okay,
I don't believe there was a motion on the floor
on the floor.
or to approve any of the two remaining variances.
So we'll need a motion on the floor for approval or a recommendation to approve or deny plat 2416 Farmingdale. Major subdivision preliminary plat at 210 Farmingdale Lane. Would we vote separately on the variances, or can we, under a single motion, address both variances?
I'd recommend just voting separately on them.
All right. So do we have a motion for the approval or a recommendation to approve or deny plat 2416 Farmingdale major subdivision preliminary plat at 210 Farmingdale Lane?
I move approval of the variance request from 5-303 of the plat 24-16 major subdivision.
Second.
So we have a motion for the variance requests.
You wanted them separate, is that correct? We should do each one?
I think that would be preferred in this case.
So you want to vote on the variances first?
Since we voted on the first two separately, it maybe is
Yeah, why don't we do that?
consistent.
Okay, great. So we have a motion for 5303, which is the variance to dedicate right-of-way, not dedicate right-of-way to an adjacent parcel. Okay. Any discussion?
I just want to thank staff for the follow-up memo. It helped. It was a real slog at our meeting on April 1st, trying to work through the confusing nature of this. For me, anyway, it was. And that was a really long meeting. So everything was made very clear. So I appreciate staff working with the applicant to get us to where we are tonight. That's what I want to say.
Further? So we have a motion. We'll vote on that motion. All those in favor of the motion to approve variance request 5303?
Aye.
All right. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none. So now we would like to entertain a motion for the additional variance request 500.
I move we approve the variance request 5-500 of the plat 24-16 subdivision preliminary plat.
Any discussion?
We need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right. All those in favor of the motion to approve? Aye. And then we do need a motion for the plat as a whole. So we need a motion for the approval or denial, a recommendation to approve or deny plat 2416.
I move the Planning Commission approve plat 24-16 Farmingdale Major Subdivision Preliminary Plat.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion? Aye. All right. Great. Do you need anything further? Andrew, do you need anything further? Okay, great. We'll move on then to Zoning Ordinance Review Committee. We have not met. Historic Art Design Review Board.
There are some openings in the, there's some openings that are coming up on the board. So I would encourage you guys, if you know anyone who might do a good job serving, to spread the word to them. Andrew has application, or it's not an application, it's just a letter of interest or a form of interest. The rules that were set up are actually a little bit they're totally reasonable, but they're some things to keep in mind. We have to maintain a certain number of people who are in the building trades, architecture, landscape architecture, engineering, and so forth, construction. There has to be a certain number of people who own property in the certain number of people who have commercial property there, and a certain number who live there. So especially if you know people who live downtown in the historic district or are in architecture or adjacent fields, send them to Andrew.
Are any, is this absent, this soon to be vacant? Do they hold any of those specific criteria now?
Yeah, they do. So based on my memory, the board has to be between 7 and 9 people. We're at 7 people. We have one person who's an architect who's rotating off, and I think someone else is. There's also, I think, Dufectus is going to be the new chair. So Bush stepped down. She's still going to serve, though, I think. Yeah, there's a few moving parts coming up, and so if you know people who are
Particularly if they're
politically minded and attached to downtown Blacksburg,
hold an
please.
architecture degree.
And especially, but they don't have to. Not everyone. We need people, even if they don't have any of those things. We need a few people, I think, because it's probably better to have 9 for quorum reasons. It's probably better to have 9 than to have 7 because people. It meets at 4:30, so it's kind of a funny time, especially for those of us at the university who teach at that time. It's a weird time.
Right. Thank you. Montgomery County Planning Commission. Do we have anyone in attendance? Any additional items from Planning Commission?
Yes, Jerry.
Respectfully, Chair, April was you.
April was a bad month for me. I'll fill you in. I'll find out what happened and fill you in. Any additional items from Planning Commissioners? Hearing none. New business, Chair's report, I have none. Planning Director's report.
Just remind Planning Commission of our retreat on Thursday at the Blacksburg Motor Company building, starting at 5:30, and then we'll get into a discussion at 6.
Wonderful, thank you. Town Council report.
I have nothing.
We are adjourned. Thank you.